Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the CL-13A, Germany's top fighter jet, sitting at 9.0 battle rating in realistic battle. Now, very good plane, fantastic to fly. It is one of the best fighter jets in the game, and it was time I took it out. After flying out the Japanese F-40 recently, I decided it was time for another Sabre and actually put some time in the CL-13 finally. Now, I was a little bit mixed between using boosters again or not, but after the feedback I promised to fly the next Sabre without boosters. You know, the comments were a little bit mixed. Some people said you can use boosters, no problem, you just need to get used to it. That was also how I felt it. After a terrible start, I went pretty well in the F-40, 10-1 after a few initial wing rips, which was terrible, but after all, we got it right. And people who were saying like you shouldn't use boosters, the extra maneuverability at low speeds isn't worth the wing ripability at higher speeds. So I decided not to use boosters in this one. And I did notice the difference, most definitely. I did not rip my wings in this plane even once without the boosters. You do also notice though that you have less roll rate, especially from not having the new booster modification, and that is detrimental in defensive maneuvering and such. But all in all, it's a trade-off. You know, you can decide what you're gonna use more in your flight style and make your decision based on that. You can get used to boosters in any case. If you use it a lot, get a feel for it, for the snappability, and not snap them so often anymore. But yeah, the maneuverability is definitely worth something. But I have to say that not having the wing snappability so high is also a pretty good thing to have. So yeah, whatever your personal preference is, go for that. Now let's get into the plane. The maximum speed in this plane is 1099 kilometers an hour at sea level, 845 kilometers an hour at 4500 meters, and 742 kilometers an hour at 6500 meters. Pretty good. It's a fast plane, one of the fastest planes in the game. Top speed in a dive is 1112 kilometers an hour before it redlines and 1220 kilometers an hour before it rips, which is quite nice. Stall speed in the plane sits at 130 kilometers an hour, which is quite nice for stall maneuvers and such. Control stiffening in the plane is almost absent. At 900 kilometers an hour you notice a little bit of compression, but it's really not worth mentioning, and the plane still rolls very well. Firepower in the plane is good. You have 6 times M3 Browning machine guns, good old 50 cals with 300 rounds per gun. This is high velocity and rapid firing though, these guns, so these 300 rounds don't last you that long. Although I would still call the ammo load good, you do have to watch it a little bit and watch your trigger happiness. I used stealth belt on this flyout and I used 600 meter convergence. Acceleration in the plane in a straight line is average to decent compared to other planes at 9.0. In a dive it is good. It is not comparable to the MiGs, but still very decent. Energy retention in the plane in the horizontal is excellent, and in the vertical I would call it decent to good, depending on what situation you're at and what altitude you are on. The climb rate in the plane is good in the initial climb. The zoom climb is very good in this plane, but it will be beaten in sustained climbs, especially by the various MiGs that you will face. Turn time in the plane is average. With flaps it's decent. The flaps do rip off though at 630 kilometers an hour, which is how would you call that, decent. But at the higher speeds you definitely don't want to use flaps. Roll rate in the plane is fantastic, one of the best of course. Even without the boosters it is still better than most of the planes that you face. But you do lose a little bit of your edge in the roll rate without the boosters. Maneuverability overall would be good. Overheating in the plane is definitely there. It overheats eventually if you continuously keep the engine at 100%, and you do have to lower it down after a little bit in the match to keep it from overheating. But it will go alright. You can keep an easy control on it and use 100% in your fights and in your escapes, and then lower it a little bit in the lulls of battle, which is always occurring. So I wouldn't call it a huge problem, the overheating. Durability in the plane is not great. This plane is very easily crippled. Hits on the wings will definitely make it very difficult getting back to base. You can still do it sometimes, but it is definitely not doing very well in the flight model when it is damaged. And you got to be careful when you do decide to use the boosters for the wing snappability on the plane, because that is definitely a problem. But like I said, on the F40 I did get used to it eventually, and the extra maneuverability is nice. Like I said, personal preference there. The plane becomes very sluggish when it is slow, especially below 350 kilometers an hour. You will notice this. I would say this plane should be used in a boom and run capacity. Keep it fast, keep it level. Get into the vertical only when you see you can do that, with no hunters or MiGs behind you, and use it only to turn back to the battlefield in a safe situation. Otherwise, just keep the plane fast and you will be fine. Excellent plane to fly, really enjoyable. I did quite well in it for a beginning CL-13 pilot. Haven't flown the plane that often yet, but I went 17 kills against 7 deaths, which is quite nice. 2.5 to 1 against a lot of people who fly a lot of jets, right? So I was quite happy with that. Got a critical on that hunter as he came in from their spawn. I think he climbed a little bit in the back from their airfield and decided to come in a little later than some of the other people. This is, I don't know if this is the stealth belt, guys. For the dedicated Sabre pilots among you, I used stealth belt because I liked the composition and 50% API rounds and such. But is there a belt that I should use more, or is another belt preferable to this? Because I got quite a lot of hits, and maybe there's another belt that works better at the moment. Do give that up in the comments if you want, because I'm curious. The stealth belts, even on the F40 as well, do give some hits now and then, and yeah, I'm interested to see. Here we go for the voiture. The cannon bomber goes down. He didn't have enough speed, and us coming from a dive, it's basically clear who was gonna win that run. Another 2 kills in that match. That's what you get a lot. 2 kill matches, 1 kill matches, 3 kill matches sometimes. Quite nice. Terror of the Sky, bulletproof, 34,000 silver lines and almost 3,000 research points. I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now, quite enjoyable to fly out the CL-13. The extra little bit of top speed is nice, and the plane really behaves really nicely between sea level and 3,000 meters. Had some good results in the plane, steady results, and you know, I don't fly jets that often, but to do this well in a plane like this that early, I would say this is very recommendable. Do be careful with the plane though, especially in the verticals with the MiG-17, the MiG-15 biz, the Hunter and stuff like that behind you. You basically don't want to use it in the vertical that much, but using the roll rate in the horizontal and trying to shake those planes off with some defensive flying, air brakes if you have to make planes overshoot. Yeah, it's definitely worth flying this plane and something to look forward to. I am interested though in your replies about the stealth belts. and whether or not that is the best belt to use at the moment in the Sabres. Because just like in the F40 I got quite a few hits. You do, with the stealth belts at least, need a good sustained burst on the target to actually destroy them and get the kill. And if you don't do that, you do get a lot of hits. But yeah, let me know if you prefer another belt and why. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.